Have you ever felt a connection so profound that it transcended words, a resonance that seemed to echo from another lifetime? Who among us hasn't wondered why some relationships feel like fate, like two puzzle pieces finally clicking into place, while others fade into the background of memory? Why is it that love, the most universal of human experiences, often leaves us searching for answers in the quiet moments of reflection? These questions, as old as time itself, find their answers in the whispered wisdom of Zen and Buddhist teachings that reveal love not as a fleeting emotion, but as a spiritual force that aligns with the very rhythm of the universe. Imagine a love that is not bound by the laws of timing, distance, or circumstance. A love that persists beyond the physical realm. A love that returns again and again until the soul remembers its true form. This is the love the sages speak of, a love that is not an accident of the heart, but a destined reunion of two spiritual paths that were once one. It is a love that bends the universe to its will, not through force, but through the quiet power of alignment and awareness. Who hasn't experienced the ache of separation, the longing for a love that feels lost to time? Yet, in the wisdom of Zen, separation is not the end, but a profound teacher. It is in the absence of the beloved that we learn to look inward, to discover that love was never truly about the other, but about how deeply we can connect to the universal energy that flows through all of us. The Buddha reminds us that impermanence is the nature of all things, but within that impermanence lies something eternal, a love that is free from possession, a love that transforms and liberates. Why is it that some loves leave us forever changed, while others pass like shadows in the night? The answer lies in understanding that not all love is meant to stay, but all love is meant to teach. Every heartbreak, every reunion, every moment of connection is a stepping stone on the path to awakening. The Buddhist teachings invite us to see relationships not as successes or failures, but as instruments of growth. They ask us to forgive more easily, to let go more gracefully, and to honor the journey rather than clinging to the people who walk alongside us for a time. Have you ever wondered why destiny often seems to operate outside the boundaries of logic and reason? Zen teaches us that destiny is not a timetable or a predetermined path, but a harmony that emerges when our spirit aligns with the cosmic dance. It is not about chasing love or forcing connections, but about creating space within ourselves for love to flow naturally. When the mind is quiet and the heart is pure, what is meant to be ours returns, not as a reward for our efforts, but as a natural consequence of our spiritual readiness. Why is it that true love, when it arrives, often brings with it a sense of calm and clarity rather than the turbulence of desire and anxiety? Because true love is not about merging with another soul, but about allowing both souls to bloom in their fullness. It is a love that supports growth, even if that means parting for a time. It is a love that makes us stronger, wiser, and more peaceful, a love that awakens us to our highest potential. So, who are you meant to love, and who is meant to love you? Why does destiny sometimes lead us through seasons of solitude and longing before revealing its purpose? These are the questions that Zen and Buddhist teachings invite us to explore, not through intellectual inquiry alone, but through the profound practice of stillness, mindfulness, and surrender. For when the soul is quiet, destiny begins to unfold like a lotus emerging from the mud, and true love returns not with fireworks, but with the silent certainty of a sunrise. Join us as we delve into these timeless teachings, uncovering the secrets of a love that transcends the ordinary and touches the divine. Let us reflect on how destiny calls, not with the clamor of the world, but with the whisper of the soul, and how, when we answer that call, nothing can stop true love from finding its way home. 1. Introduction to Destiny and True Love. Love is the most powerful, mysterious force in the universe. It can heal wounds, give us hope in the darkest times, and connect us to others in ways that nothing else can. But what is love really, and where does it come from? In the quiet wisdom of Zen and Buddhist teachings, we find answers that take us beyond the surface of emotions and into the depths of the soul. These teachings tell us that true love is not just a feeling, it's a spiritual journey that aligns with the universal laws of destiny. The concept of destiny in Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, destiny is not about a fixed future that's set in stone. It's more like a path that unfolds based on our actions, thoughts, and intentions. The idea of karma plays a big role here. Karma isn't about punishment or reward. It's simply the natural consequence of our choices. When we act with love and compassion, we create positive karma that attracts more love and goodness into our lives. So, destiny is shaped by our own actions, and it's always evolving. But how does this relate to love? Well, Buddhist teachings suggest that our past actions and intentions can bring certain people into our lives. These people aren't random. They're connected to us through the karmic threads we've woven over time. So when we meet someone who feels like destiny, it's not magic. It's the natural result of the karma we've created. True love as a spiritual phenomenon. True love, according to Zen and Buddhist wisdom, is not the Hollywood version of love, the kind that's all about grand gestures and intense emotions. It's something much deeper. True love is a spiritual connection that goes beyond physical attraction and emotional highs and lows. It's a love that recognizes the essence of another person, seeing beyond their flaws and limitations to the pure soul within. This kind of love is not possessive or selfish. It doesn't cling or demand. Instead, it's generous and selfless. It allows both people to grow and evolve without restrictions. In true love, both partners support each other's spiritual journeys, helping each other to become the best versions of themselves. The connection between destiny and love. So how does destiny connect with true love? The teachings tell us that when two people are meant to be together, their spiritual paths align. This alignment isn't something we can force or plan. It happens naturally when both people are open, aware, and living in harmony with the universal laws. But this doesn't mean that destiny makes everything easy. In fact, often the opposite is true. Destiny may bring people together in the most unexpected ways and through difficult circumstances. The challenges that come with destined love are not accidents. They're opportunities for growth and transformation. Through these challenges, we learn patience, compassion, and understanding. The role of meditation and mindfulness. To recognize and embrace destined love, we need to cultivate awareness. This is where meditation and mindfulness come in. Meditation helps us quiet the noise of the mind and connect with our inner selves. When we're mindful, we're present in each moment, able to see things as they truly are without the filters of fear, desire, or attachment. In this state of awareness, we can recognize the signs of true love. We can feel the resonance between our soul and another's, even when our logical minds might doubt it. Meditation also helps us let go of our attachments and expectations, allowing us to love freely and without conditions. The journey of the soul. The journey of the soul in search of true love is not always smooth. There will be times of separation, loneliness, and longing. But these difficult times are not the end. They're part of the journey, teaching us valuable lessons about ourselves and about love. During these times, it's important to remember that true love is not lost when someone is physically absent. The connection between souls remains, even if it's not visible or tangible. This is the essence of destined love. It transcends the physical realm and exists in a deeper, more profound space. Conclusion. The introduction to destiny and true love in Zen and Buddhist teachings opens a door to a deeper understanding of love. It's not just about romantic relationships. It's about the spiritual connections that enrich our lives and help us grow. When we align ourselves with the universal laws of karma and destiny, and when we cultivate awareness through meditation and mindfulness, we become open to experiencing true love in its purest form. This love is not something we can force or control. It's something we recognize, nurture, and allow to flourish naturally. And when it does, it transforms us, leading us on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening that touches every aspect of our lives. 2. The spiritual truth of destiny. The universe operates on principles that are often invisible to the naked eye, but powerfully shape our lives. Among these principles is destiny, a concept that has been explored and revered across countless spiritual traditions. In the realm of Zen and Buddhist teachings, destiny is not merely a backdrop to our lives, but an active force that guides us toward growth, connection, and ultimately, enlightenment. To understand destiny in the spiritual context is to embark on a journey of profound self-discovery and transformation. The nature of destiny. In Buddhist thought, destiny is intricately linked with the concept of karma. Karma, often misunderstood as a system of cosmic rewards and punishments, is more accurately described as the natural law of cause and effect. Every action, thought, and intention we generate sets into motion a ripple of consequences that shape our future experiences. This is not a punitive mechanism, but a neutral, universal truth. When we act with compassion, wisdom, and awareness, we sow seeds of positive karma that align us with beneficial circumstances and relationships. Conversely, actions rooted in ignorance, greed, or hatred generate karma that leads to suffering and obstacles. Yet destiny is not a rigid, predetermined path that we are condemned to follow regardless of our choices. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving tapestry woven from the threads of our past, present, and future actions. While our past karma influences the circumstances we encounter, our present actions and responses to those circumstances have the power to redirect the course of our destiny. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of empowerment. We are not passive victims of fate, but active participants in shaping our journey through life. Destiny and the law of attraction. The law of attraction, a concept gaining widespread recognition in contemporary spiritual discourse, finds its echo in ancient Buddhist teachings. At its core, this law posits that like attracts like. Our thoughts, emotions, and vibrational energies act as magnets, drawing to us experiences that resonate with those energies. When we harbor thoughts of love, gratitude, and openness, we create a pin-lu that attracts positive and harmonious experiences. Conversely, a mind mired in fear, doubt, and negativity sends out vibrations that repel what we desire and attract that which we fear. This is not to suggest that merely thinking positive thoughts will magically manifest our desires without effort. True alignment with the law of attraction requires not just positive thinking, but a transformation of our being. It demands that we cultivate a deep sense of inner peace, release our attachments to specific outcomes, and trust in the unfolding of the universe. When we achieve this state of alignment, we become receptive to the subtle guidance of destiny, recognizing opportunities and synchronicities that lead us toward our highest good. The role of stillness and mindfulness. To discern the whispers of destiny amidst the cacophony of daily life requires the cultivation of stillness and mindfulness. In the quietude of meditation, we retreat from the external chaos and turn our attention inward. Here, in the sanctuary of our own awareness, we can listen for the subtle promptings of our soul and the gentle nudges of destiny. Meditation serves as a powerful tool for purifying the mind, releasing the mental clutter and emotional baggage that obscure our vision and cloud our judgment. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in each moment, complements meditation by extending that clarity and awareness into our everyday activities. When we move through life with mindfulness, we become attuned to the present moment, recognizing the beauty and opportunities that surround us. We learn to respond to life's challenges with equanimity rather than reacting from a place of habit and conditioning. In this state of heightened awareness, we are better equipped to discern the path of destiny and align our actions with its flow. How destiny manifests in relationships. One of the most profound arenas in which destiny reveals itself is in our relationships with others. The connections we form, romantic partnerships, friendships, familial bonds, are not arbitrary. They are the product of karmic ties and spiritual agreements made across time. Each relationship presents us with a mirror, reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that we may not otherwise see. In the eyes of our beloved, we encounter our own capacity for love, compassion, and understanding. In the challenges and conflicts that arise, we confront our shadows, our fears, and our unhealed wounds. When two souls are destined to meet, their connection transcends the superficial layers of personality and ego. It touches the realm of the soul, resonating with a depth and intensity that cannot be ignored. This connection is not always easy or without pain. Often, the most transformative relationships are those that test us, pushing us to grow, to evolve, and to become more than we were before. For in the crucible of relationship, our spiritual potential is forged. Embracing the journey of destiny. Embracing the spiritual truth of destiny does not mean passively accepting whatever circumstances come our way. Rather, it calls us to an active engagement with life, a willingness to embrace both the joy and the suffering as opportunities for growth. It invites us to release our rigid attachments to how we think our lives should unfold and to trust in the wisdom of the universe. When we align ourselves with destiny, we surrender not to resignation, but to a deeper intelligence that guides us toward our highest purpose. This journey of alignment requires patience, compassion, and forgiveness, not only toward others, but toward ourselves. We must recognize that our missteps and mistakes are not failures, but essential steps on the path. Each time we fall, we have the opportunity to rise again with greater wisdom and awareness. Each challenge we face becomes a stepping stone toward spiritual awakening. Finding harmony with destiny. To walk in harmony with destiny is to live a life of profound authenticity and meaning. It is to recognize that every experience, every relationship, and every circumstance is an integral part of our spiritual journey. By understanding the nature of karma, embracing the law of attraction through mindfulness and stillness, and viewing our relationships as sacred opportunities for growth, we align ourselves with the universal flow. In this alignment, we discover that destiny is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding of the present moment. It is not about achieving a particular outcome, but about embracing the journey itself with openness, curiosity, and love. When we live in this way, we find ourselves in perfect harmony with the universe, dancing with destiny as it guides us toward our highest potential. 3. The journey of the soul, walking the path of destiny. The journey of the soul is a profound and mystical concept that lies at the heart of Zen and Buddhist teachings. It is a journey that transcends the boundaries of time and space, weaving through multiple lifetimes and experiences as it seeks growth, understanding, and ultimately, enlightenment. This journey is not merely a passive drifting through existence, but an active engagement with life, its challenges, and its opportunities for spiritual evolution. The soul's quest for growth. At its core, the soul's journey is a quest for growth and self-realization. The soul is not a static entity, but a dynamic being that evolves through experiences. Each experience, whether joyous or painful, serves as a catalyst for transformation. In Zen Buddhism, this idea is beautifully captured by the concept of shunyata, or emptiness. The soul, in its essence, is empty of fixed characteristics, which allows it to be shaped and transformed by experiences. This emptiness is not a void, but a fertile ground for growth and potential. The journey begins with a soul that is like a blank canvas. With each life, each experience, the soul adds colors and brushstrokes to this canvas, creating a unique masterpiece of its spiritual evolution. The soul's quest is not to reach a particular destination, but to continuously evolve, to become more aware, more compassionate, and more connected to the universal truth. The role of meditation in the soul's journey. Meditation is the soul's compass on this journey. It is through meditation that the soul finds its way through the darkness of ignorance and the confusion of ego. Meditation is not merely a practice, but a way of being, a state of awareness that allows the soul to connect with its deepest essence. In Zen Buddhism, meditation, or zazen, is the cornerstone of spiritual practice. It is through zazen that practitioners learn to quiet the mind, to observe thoughts without attachment, and to rest in the present moment. This practice of mindfulness is not confined to the meditation cushion, but extends into every aspect of life. When we eat mindfully. When we walk mindfully. In every action, we cultivate awareness, and through this awareness, the soul awakens. Meditation also serves as a mirror for the soul. It reflects back to us our deepest fears, desires, and attachments. It shows us the parts of ourselves that we try to hide, both from others and from ourselves. Through this reflection, we can begin to understand the nature of our suffering and the path to its transcendence. The soul's encounter with suffering. The journey of the soul is not without its share of suffering. In fact, suffering is an integral part of the soul's evolution. The Buddha's first noble truth acknowledges the reality of suffering, dukkha, as an inherent part of life. Physical pain, emotional turmoil, and the inevitability of change, all are forms of suffering that the soul must confront. But suffering is not the end. It is a beginning. It is through suffering that the soul is purified and transformed. The soul's encounter with suffering is like the forging of metal in fire. The heat of suffering burns away impurities, revealing the soul's true nature. It is through suffering that we learn compassion, patience, and resilience. The story of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, exemplifies this truth. Born into a life of luxury and comfort, Siddhartha's journey began when he encountered suffering in the forms of old age, sickness, and death. These encounters shook him to his core and set him on a path of spiritual seeking that ultimately led to his enlightenment. The soul's awakening. Through love is another crucial element in the soul's journey. True love, as understood in Zen and Buddhist teachings, is not merely an emotion but a spiritual force that connects us to others and to the universe. It is through love that the soul experiences its deepest sense of connection and belonging. But love, in its purest form, is selfless. It does not cling or possess, but allows for freedom and growth. When the soul encounters true love, it experiences a profound sense of recognition, a knowing that transcends the physical and intellectual realms. This love is not bound by the laws of timing or circumstance, but exists in the realm of the eternal. The soul's journey through love often involves moments of separation and longing. These moments are not failures of love, but opportunities for growth. They teach the soul the importance of letting go, of trusting in the connection, even when it is not visible or tangible. They remind us that true love is not about possession, but about a deep spiritual bond that transcends the physical form. The soul's evolution through reincarnation. In Buddhist cosmology, the soul's journey does not end with death. Instead, it continues through the cycle of reincarnation, or samsara. The soul is reborn again and again, each time into a different form and circumstance, based on the karma it has accumulated in previous lives. Reincarnation is not a punishment for past misdeeds, but an opportunity for further growth. Each lifetime presents new lessons and challenges that contribute to the soul's evolution. The soul may be reborn as a human, an animal, or even a deity, depending on the nature of its karma. The goal is not to remain in any particular state, but to achieve liberation from the cycle of rebirth and attain enlightenment. This understanding of reincarnation offers a profound perspective on life and death. It suggests that our current life is but one chapter in a much larger story. The challenges we face and the relationships we form are not random, but are part of the soul's ongoing journey toward awakening. The soul's liberation and enlightenment. The ultimate goal of the soul's journey is liberation, moksha, and enlightenment, bodhi. Liberation is freedom from the cycle of reincarnation and the suffering that accompanies it. Enlightenment is the direct realization of the true nature of reality, the awakening to the truth that lies beyond the illusions of the physical world. Enlightenment is not a state of passive detachment from the world, but a state of profound connection and compassion. The enlightened soul sees the interconnectedness of all beings and acts with compassion toward all. It is no longer bound by the illusions of separation and duality, but experiences the unity of all existence. In Zen Buddhism, enlightenment is often described as a sudden awakening, a moment of clarity that reveals the true nature of reality. This awakening does not necessarily come after years of meditation and practice, though such practice can prepare the ground for it. It can come in a single moment of profound insight, like a flash of lightning illuminating the darkness. The soul's journey as a path of compassion. The journey of the soul is not a solitary journey. It is a journey that is deeply intertwined with the lives of others. As the soul evolves, it develops a growing sense of compassion for all beings. It recognizes that all beings are on their own spiritual journeys, facing their own challenges and striving for their own growth. Compassion becomes the soul's natural response to the suffering of others. It is not a forced or obligatory act, but a spontaneous expression of the soul's awakening. The compassionate soul seeks to alleviate the suffering of others, not out of a sense of duty or guilt, but out of a deep recognition of the interconnectedness of all life. In the Buddhist tradition, the bodhisattva is an ideal that embodies this path of compassion. A bodhisattva is a being who has achieved enlightenment but chooses to remain in the world to help others on their spiritual journeys. This selfless dedication to the welfare of others is seen as the highest expression of the soul's evolution. Conclusion: the soul's journey as a continuous unfolding. The journey of the soul, as portrayed in Zen and Buddhist teachings, is a journey of profound transformation and growth. It is a path that leads through the darkness of suffering and the beauty of love, through moments of separation and reunion, and through the cycles of life and death. At every step, the soul learns, evolves, and draws closer to its true nature. This journey is not a linear path with a clear beginning and end. It is a continuous unfolding, a dance between the soul and the universe. Each moment presents an opportunity for awakening, each experience a chance to grow. The soul's journey is our journey, and in understanding it, we begin to see our own lives through the lens of spiritual evolution. As we navigate the challenges and joys of our daily lives, we can remember that we are part of something much larger, the ongoing journey of the soul. By embracing this journey with openness, compassion, and mindfulness, we align ourselves with the universal flow and take a step closer to the enlightenment that is our birthright. The arrival of true love, a spiritual recognition. In the quiet unfolding of life, there are moments that stand apart from the ordinary, moments that feel charged with a profound significance. as if time itself has paused to allow us to recognize something deeply transformative. These are the moments when true love arrives, not with the fanfare of Hollywood romances or the cliches of popular culture, but with a quiet, almost imperceptible resonance that echoes within the deepest chambers of the soul. In Zen and Buddhist teachings, true love is not merely an emotion or a social construct. It is a spiritual recognition, a reconnection of souls that have journeyed through time and space, bound by an invisible thread of destiny. The nature of true love. True love, as understood within the framework of Zen and Buddhism, transcends the superficial layers of physical attraction and emotional dependency. It is a love that recognizes the essence of another being, seeing beyond the transient masks of appearance, personality, and circumstance to the eternal soul within. This love is not possessive or clinging. It does not seek to merge two identities into one, but rather celebrates the unique individuality of each soul while recognizing their profound interconnectedness. In Zen Buddhism, the concept of mu, or emptiness, plays a crucial role in understanding true love. Just as all phenomena are empty of inherent, independent existence, so too are our identities fluid and interconnected. True love arises from this realization, the understanding that the boundaries between self and other are illusory, and that loving another is, in essence, loving the interconnected web of existence of which we are all a part. The recognition of the soul. The arrival of true love often begins with a moment of recognition, a fleeting sense of familiarity that defies logical explanation. It is as if two souls, encountering each other across the vast expanse of time, remember a connection forged in previous lives or in the deepest recesses of the collective unconscious. This recognition is not rooted in the memories of the mind, but in the wisdom of the heart, a wisdom that transcends individual consciousness and taps into the universal consciousness that underlies all of existence. Zen stories often speak of such moments of recognition. There is a tale of two monks who meet by chance in a remote village. As their eyes meet, they are both struck by a profound sense of familiarity. They spend the day in silent companionship, sharing meals, walking together in contemplation, and sitting in meditation. By evening, they realize that they had been brothers in a previous life, and that their reunion was not a random event, but a destined reconnection, an opportunity to renew and deepen a bond that had been severed by the wheel of rebirth. The role of karma and destiny. Karma, the intricate web of cause and effect, plays a vital role in the arrival of true love. The connections we form in this life are not accidental, but are shaped by the karmic imprints of our past actions and intentions. When two people are destined to meet, their karmic threads intertwine in ways that create opportunities for mutual growth, healing, and spiritual evolution. However, destiny in this context is not a rigid blueprint that dictates every detail of our lives. It is a dynamic, living process that responds to our present actions and choices. While our past karma may set the stage for certain encounters, it is our present response to those encounters that determines the direction our relationship will take. True love, therefore, is not something that happens to us, but something we actively participate in creating through our mindful awareness and compassionate actions. The silence and stillness of true love. True love does not arrive with dramatic gestures or overwhelming emotions. It comes in silence and stillness, like the first light of dawn breaking over a tranquil lake. It is in moments of quiet presence, when the mind is uncluttered by desires and fears, that the soul recognizes its kinship with another. This is why meditation and mindfulness are essential practices for welcoming true love into our lives. When we sit in meditation, we create space within ourselves for the subtle vibrations of love to be felt. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment, allowing us to discern the genuine resonance of true love from the fleeting attractions and aversions of the ego. In stillness, we become like empty vessels, ready to be filled with the grace of love that has been waiting for us all along. The dance of true love. True love is not a static state, but a dynamic dance between two souls. It involves moments of closeness and distance, of joy and sorrow, of clarity and confusion. This dance is not without its challenges, but these challenges are not obstacles to be overcome, but opportunities for growth and deepening connection. In Zen Buddhism, the concept of Shinjin, or body-mind drop, offers a profound metaphor for this dance. It suggests that true love requires us to let go of our fixed ideas of who we are and who the other person is, dropping into a state of open presence where we can respond to each moment with authenticity and spontaneity. In this state, there is no script to follow, no expectations to fulfill, only the freedom to love and be loved in the fullness of each moment. The transformational power of true love. When true love arrives, it has the power to transform our lives in profound ways. It awakens within us qualities that may have lain dormant: compassion, patience, generosity, and forgiveness. It challenges us to confront our shadows, our insecurities, and our limiting beliefs, and in doing so, it helps us to grow into more expansive versions of ourselves. This transformation is not always easy. True love often requires us to let go of parts of ourselves that we have clung to for safety and security. It asks us to step into the unknown, to trust in the process of love, even when it leads us into uncharted territory. But it is through this process of surrender and release that we discover our true potential and experience the deepest fulfillment that life has to offer. The eternal nature of true love. Perhaps most profoundly, Zen and Buddhist teachings remind us that true love is not bound by the limitations of time and form. While physical separation or even death may sever the visible bonds of love, the connection between souls remains eternal. This is not to say that loss does not bring pain. It does. But within that pain, there is also the assurance that love endures, that the essence of the bond we shared continues to exist in the realm of the spirit. In this understanding, we find comfort and hope. We realize that love is not something we lose, but something we carry within us, a light that continues to shine even in the darkest nights of separation. And we know that when the time is right, when both souls have grown and evolved through their individual journeys, they will find their way back to each other, not through deliberate effort, but through the natural unfolding of destiny. Conclusion. Welcoming true love. The arrival of true love is not a random event, but a profound spiritual recognition, a reconnection of souls that have journeyed through time and space. It is a love that transcends the superficial layers of existence, touching the essence of who we are. By cultivating mindfulness, embracing the present moment, and releasing our attachments to how we think love should look, we create space for true love to enter our lives. When true love arrives, it does so in silence and stillness, inviting us into a dance of growth, transformation, and eternal connection. It reminds us that we are not alone in this journey of life, but are part of a vast tapestry of souls, each playing their role in the grand symphony of existence. And in this recognition, we find not only the profound joy of connection, but also the peace that comes from knowing that love, in its truest form, is eternal and unbreakable. The nature of destined love. Love is a force that has inspired poets, philosophers, and spiritual seekers for centuries. It is a mystery that lies at the heart of the human experience, a mystery that Zen and Buddhist teachings explore with profound depth and wisdom. When we speak of destined love within these traditions, we are not referring to the fleeting passions or temporary infatuations that often dominate popular conceptions of love. Instead, we are speaking of a love that is rooted in the spiritual essence of our beings, a love that transcends the boundaries of time, space, and circumstance. This is a love that is destined, not in the sense of being predetermined or fixed, but in the sense of being aligned with the deeper currents of our spiritual journey. It is a love that calls us toward growth, transformation, and ultimately, enlightenment. Love as a spiritual force. In Zen and Buddhist thought, love is not merely an emotion that arises between two individuals. It is a spiritual force that connects us to the very fabric of existence. This love is seen as an expression of the fundamental interconnectedness of all life, a recognition that at the deepest level, there is no separation between ourselves and others. When we love in this way, we are not loving another person in spite of our separation from them, but because we recognize that our separation is an illusion. This love is selfless, not because it denies the importance of the self, but because it understands that the self is not a fixed, independent entity, but a fluid, interdependent part of the whole. The Buddha taught that the ultimate truth of existence is shunyata, or emptiness. This does not mean that nothing exists, but rather that all phenomena are empty of inherent, independent existence. Everything arises in dependence on causes and conditions, and everything is in a state of constant flux. When we understand this truth, we begin to see that the boundaries between ourselves and others are not as solid as they appear. Love, in its purest form, is the experience of this interconnectedness, the felt recognition that the welfare of others is inseparable from our own welfare. The characteristics of destined love. Destined love possesses several key characteristics that distinguish it from more conventional forms of love. First and foremost, it is marked by a profound sense of recognition. This is not a recognition based on superficial traits or past experiences, but a deep, almost cellular knowing that resonates with the truth of another's being. It is as if two souls that have been separated for eons finally remember their original unity. Second, destined love is characterized by a lack of possessiveness and control. Because it arises from an understanding of the impermanent and interdependent nature of reality, it does not seek to cling to the other person or to dictate the terms of the relationship. Instead, it allows both individuals the freedom to grow and evolve, recognizing that true love is not about merging two identities into one, but about creating a space where both can flourish. Third, destined love is patient and enduring. It understands that love is not a static state, but a dynamic process that unfolds over time. It is willing to weather the storms of life's challenges, knowing that these challenges are opportunities for deepening connection and understanding. It does not demand immediate satisfaction or resolution, but trusts in the natural rhythm of the relationship. Fourth, destined love is transformative. It has the power to awaken us to our highest potential, to reveal aspects of ourselves that we may not have previously recognized. It challenges us to confront our fears, insecurities, and limitations, and in doing so, it helps us to grow into more compassionate, wise, and resilient beings. It is not a comfortable or easy love, but a love that calls us to our edge and invites us to step beyond it. The role of karma in destined love. Karma plays a crucial role in the manifestation of destined love. In Buddhist teachings, karma refers to the law of cause and effect, the principle that our actions, thoughts, and intentions have consequences that shape our future experiences. When two people are destined to be together, it is often because their karmic paths have intersected in ways that create the conditions for love to unfold. This does not mean that destined love is inevitable or predetermined in a fatalistic sense. Instead, it suggests that the seeds of love have been planted through past actions and intentions, and that these seeds will blossom when the right conditions are present. Just as a farmer plants seeds in the soil and tends to them with care, so too do we cultivate the conditions for destined love through our mindful actions and intentions. Karma also reminds us that love is not something that happens to us, but something that we actively participate in creating. The love we experience in our lives is not merely the result of external circumstances, but is shaped by our own internal states and actions. When we act with kindness, compassion, and integrity, we create positive karma that attracts love and goodness into our lives. Conversely, when we act with selfishness, hatred, or delusion, we create negative karma that obstructs the flow of love. The practice of mindfulness in cultivating destined love. To cultivate destined love, we must approach it with mindfulness and awareness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, of observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. When we bring mindfulness to our relationships, we create space for love to arise naturally and spontaneously. Mindfulness helps us to see beyond the illusions and projections that often cloud our perception of others. It allows us to recognize the inherent worth and dignity of the other person, to see them not as an object of our desires or fears, but as a fellow human being with their own unique struggles and aspirations. In this seeing, love is born, not as a possessive attachment, but as a compassionate connection. Mindfulness also helps us to respond to the challenges that inevitably arise in relationships with patience and understanding. Instead of reacting automatically from a place of habit or conditioning, we can pause, take a breath, and respond in ways that are aligned with our deepest values and intentions. This mindful responsiveness is the foundation of a loving and harmonious relationship. The impermanence of love and the eternal nature of connection. A crucial teaching in Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, the understanding that all things are in a state of constant change and that nothing remains the same. This teaching applies to love as well. The forms and expressions of love may change over time. Relationships may come and go, and the intensity of emotions may ebb and flow. However, the connection between souls that has been forged through destined love is not subject to the same impermanence. This connection is eternal because it is rooted not in the transient circumstances of our lives, but in the timeless truth of our interconnectedness. Even when physical separation or death occurs, the essence of the bond remains. It continues to exist in the realm of spirit, waiting to be rediscovered when the time is right. This understanding offers profound comfort and hope, reminding us that love is not something we lose, but something we carry within us, a light that continues to shine even in the darkest nights of separation. The path of destined love as a spiritual practice. When we enter into a relationship of destined love, we are not merely entering into a social or emotional bond. We are embarking on a spiritual practice, a path of mutual growth and transformation. This practice involves several key elements. Cultivating compassion. Compassion is the heart of Buddhist spirituality, and it lies at the core of destined love. Compassion is not merely feeling sorry for another's suffering, but is the active desire to alleviate that suffering and promote happiness. In a relationship, this means being attentive to the needs and feelings of our partner, seeking to understand their perspective, and acting in ways that promote their well-being. Practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is essential in any loving relationship. It involves releasing resentment and bitterness toward those who have hurt us and letting go of the need for revenge or retaliation. In destined love, forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the bondage of negative emotions that can poison our relationship. Embracing patience. Patience is the capacity to accept the present moment as it is, without trying to force it to conform to our expectations. In a relationship, patience means giving our partner the time and space they need to grow and evolve without demanding immediate change or resolution. It is the practice of trusting in the natural unfolding of the relationship. Developing wisdom. Wisdom in the context of destined love involves seeing the truth of the situation with clarity and insight. It means recognizing the impermanent and interdependent nature of the relationship, understanding the karmic forces at play, and responding to challenges with mindful awareness. Wisdom helps us to navigate the complexities of love with grace and equanimity. The transformative power of destined love. When we engage in the practice of destined love, we undergo a profound transformation. This love has the power to awaken within us qualities that may have lain dormant: compassion, patience, generosity, and forgiveness. It challenges us to confront our shadows, our insecurities, and our limiting beliefs, and in doing so, it helps us to grow into more expansive versions of ourselves. This transformation is not always easy. Destined love often requires us to let go of parts of ourselves that we have clung to for safety and security. It asks us to step into the unknown, to trust in the process of love, even when it leads us into uncharted territory. But it is through this process of surrender and release that we discover our true potential and experience the deepest fulfillment that life has to offer. Conclusion. Embracing destined love. Destined love, as understood in Zen and Buddhist teachings, is not a fairy tale romance or a Hollywood fantasy. It is a profound spiritual connection that calls us to our highest potential and invites us into a dance of mutual growth and transformation. It is a love that recognizes the interconnectedness of all life, that honors the impermanent nature of existence, and that finds its eternal expression in the realm of the spirit. By cultivating mindfulness, embracing the present moment, and releasing our attachments to how we think love should look, we create space for destined love to enter our lives. When it arrives, it does so not with dramatic gestures or overwhelming emotions, but with a quiet, almost imperceptible resonance that echoes within the deepest chambers of the soul. In embracing destined love, we discover not only the profound joy of connection, but also the peace that comes from knowing that love, in its truest form, transcends the boundaries of time and form. It is a love that endures through all the changes and challenges of life, a love that continues to shine even in the darkest nights of separation. And in this love, we find not only fulfillment, but also a glimpse of the eternal truth that lies at the heart of all existence. The challenge of separation, a test of true love. In the journey of true love, separation often emerges as a formidable challenge. It is a trial that tests the depth of our connection and the strength of our commitment. In Zen and Buddhist teachings, separation is not viewed as a failure or an ending, but rather as a profound opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is through the experience of separation that we learn to distinguish between the superficial aspects of love and its eternal essence. This perspective transforms separation from a source of despair into a valuable, even necessary, part of the spiritual path of love. The pain of separation brings with it a unique kind of pain, a sense of loss that can feel all-consuming. It is a pain that arises from the absence of the beloved, from the suddenly empty space where their presence once was. This pain is a testament to the depth of our love, a reminder of how fully we had opened our hearts to another. In Buddhist psychology, this pain is understood as a manifestation of our attachment. Attachment is not inherently negative. It is a natural part of the human experience. However, when attachment becomes clinging, it leads to suffering. The story of a monk who had to leave his beloved to pursue his spiritual path illustrates this pain. As he departed, his heart ached with longing, Yet he knew that this separation was necessary for his growth. Over time, through meditation and mindfulness, he transformed his pain into a deeper understanding of love and self. The lessons of separation. Separation teaches us several important lessons. First, it teaches us about the nature of impermanence. All relationships, like all phenomena, are subject to change. Separation reminds us that nothing in this life is permanent, and that true love must be able to accommodate and accept this impermanence. It is not the absence of change that defines love, but the ability to love through change. Second, separation teaches us about self-reliance. When we are separated from our beloved, we are forced to turn inward and find strength within ourselves. We learn that our sense of worth and completeness does not depend entirely on another person, but is rooted in our own being. This self-reliance does not diminish our love, but deepens it by making us more resilient and present when we are together. Third, separation teaches us about the difference between love and attachment. Attachment seeks to possess and control, while love allows for freedom and growth. Separation helps us to recognize when our love has become possessive and gives us the opportunity to release those possessive tendencies. In doing so, we discover a love that is more spacious, more trusting, and more aligned with the true nature of reality. The practice of letting go. Central to navigating separation is the practice of letting go. Letting go does not mean resigning ourselves to loss or giving up on love. It means releasing our attachment to how we think love should look and how we want our relationship to unfold. It is an active practice of surrender, of trusting in the process of love, even when it leads us into unknown territory. In Zen Buddhism, the practice of non-attachment is cultivated through meditation and mindfulness. When we meditate, we observe our thoughts and emotions without clinging to them. We allow them to arise and pass away without resistance. This practice helps us to develop a similar attitude toward our relationships. We learn to cherish the moments of connection without fear of their ending, and to accept the moments of separation without despair. Letting go also involves releasing our expectations and judgments about our relationship. It means allowing our partner to be exactly as they are without trying to change them to fit our ideals. It means accepting the natural ebb and flow of the relationship, understanding that love, like all things, has its seasons. The eternal connection beyond separation. One of the most profound teachings about separation is that it does not sever the bond of true love. The connection between souls that have been touched by destined love transcends physical presence and temporal circumstances. Even in separation, the essence of the love remains, existing in a realm that is not subject to the same limitations as the physical world. This eternal connection is not merely a consolation for loss, but is a source of strength and hope. It reminds us that love is not something we lose, but something we carry within us. It continues to influence our lives, shaping our growth and guiding our path. The love that exists between souls is like a river that may be dammed or diverted, but never truly stopped. It finds its way through the cracks and barriers, emerging again and again in new forms and expressions. Reunion and renewal, separation, when navigated with mindfulness and compassion, often leads to reunion and renewal. This reunion is not a simple return to how things were before, but a coming together enriched by the growth and insights gained during the time apart. Both individuals bring new perspectives, deeper understanding, and greater appreciation for each other. The story of a couple who were separated by circumstance for many years illustrates this renewal. When they finally reunited, they found that their love had deepened in ways they could not have imagined. The separation had allowed them to grow individually, and their reunion became a celebration of that growth. Their love was no longer based on idealized images of each other, but on a genuine appreciation for who they had become. The role of faith and trust. Throughout the experience of separation, faith and trust are essential. Faith in the enduring nature of love and trust in the process of growth and transformation. It is easy to doubt during times of separation, to wonder if the love was real or if it will ever return. But Zen and Buddhist teachings encourage us to cultivate faith in the deeper truths of our experience. This faith is not blind or naive, but is grounded in the understanding of the nature of reality. It is faith in the interconnectedness of all things, in the law of karma, and in the eternal nature of the soul. It is trust that even in the darkest nights of separation, the light of love continues to shine, waiting to be rediscovered when the time is right. Conclusion. Embracing separation as a spiritual practice. Separation, though painful, is an integral part of the journey of true love. It is a spiritual practice that teaches us about impermanence, self-reliance, and the difference between love and attachment. By embracing separation with mindfulness, compassion, and faith, we transform it from a source of suffering into a powerful catalyst for growth and transformation. When we let go of our attachments and trust in the eternal nature of love, we discover a love that is deeper, more resilient, and more aligned with the truth of our being. We learn that separation is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey, a chapter in the ongoing story of our love. And in this understanding, we find not only the strength to endure separation, but the wisdom to welcome reunion with open hearts and renewed spirits. The silent return, reunion beyond form. After the trials of separation, the journey of destined love often leads to a silent return, a reunion that transcends the physical and emotional realms. This return is not merely a rekindling of past connections, but a profound reconnection of souls that have grown and transformed through their individual journeys. In Zen and Buddhist teachings, this silent return is understood as a natural unfolding of destiny, a testament to the enduring nature of true love and the spiritual bonds that connect us across time and space. The nature of the silent return. The silent return is characterized by a deep sense of recognition and familiarity that goes beyond physical appearance or shared history. It is a reunion of souls who, having been separated, find their way back to each other through the subtle vibrations of destiny. This return is often marked by a profound silence, a quiet knowing that words cannot fully express. It is a meeting of eyes that see beyond the surface, of hearts that remember a connection forged in previous lives or in the depths of the spirit. In Zen Buddhism, this silent return is seen as a reflection of the eternal nature of the soul and the interconnectedness of all things. It is a reminder that love, in its truest form, is not bound by the limitations of time or form. The souls that reunite in this way have often undergone significant transformation during their separation. They return not as the same people who once parted, but as individuals who have grown in wisdom, compassion, and self-awareness. This growth enriches their connection, allowing it to deepen in ways that would not have been possible without the experience of separation. The transformation through separation. The period of separation is not merely a time of waiting, but a crucial phase of transformation for both individuals. During this time, each soul is challenged to look inward, to confront their fears, insecurities, and limitations, and to emerge with a greater understanding of themselves and their capacity for love. This transformation is essential for the silent return, as it ensures that the reunion is not a repetition of the past, but a new beginning built on a foundation of growth and self-awareness. For one individual, separation might lead to a deeper exploration of meditation and mindfulness, helping them to release attachments and develop a greater sense of inner peace. For another, It might involve navigating the difficulties of relationships and learning the importance of communication and empathy. Whatever the specific challenges, the separation becomes a catalyst for spiritual growth, preparing each soul for the deeper connection that awaits upon their return. The reunion of souls. When souls reunite after separation, their connection is often more profound than it was before. They recognize each other not just through the eyes of the body, but through the eyes of the spirit. This recognition is marked by a sense of completeness and understanding that transcends words. They see beyond the wrinkles and scars of time to the essence of the other person, the part that has always been and always will be. This reunion is not without its challenges. The individuals must navigate the changes that have occurred in their lives and in themselves. They must learn to integrate their growth and new perspectives into the relationship. But these challenges are not obstacles to be overcome, but opportunities for further deepening of their connection. They learn to communicate with a new level of honesty and vulnerability to support each other's continued growth, and to honor the unique paths each has traveled during their separation. The eternal nature of the connection. The silent return emphasizes the eternal nature of the connection between destined souls. Even when physical separation or death occurs, the bond between souls remains unbroken. This bond exists in a realm that transcends the physical world, a realm of spirit where love continues to flow and grow. The reunion, therefore, is not just a reconnection of two individuals, but a recognition of a timeless bond that has always existed and will always continue to exist. This understanding offers profound comfort and hope. It reminds us that love is not something we lose, but something we carry within us, a light that continues to shine even in the darkest nights of separation. It assures us that the connections we form in this life are not fleeting, but are part of a larger, eternal tapestry of love and destiny. The practice of mindfulness in reunion. To fully embrace the silent return and the reunion of souls, mindfulness is essential. Mindfulness helps us to be present in the moment, to recognize the profound significance of the reunion without becoming lost in the past or the future. It allows us to see our partner with fresh eyes, appreciating the ways they have grown and changed while honoring the essence of who they have always been. In mindfulness, we practice non-judgmental awareness. We observe our thoughts and emotions without clinging to them or pushing them away. This awareness helps us to respond to the new dynamics of the relationship with patience and understanding. It enables us to communicate openly and honestly, to express our needs and listen to those of our partner, and to navigate the challenges of reunion with compassion and wisdom. The continued journey of love. The silent return is not the end of the journey, but a new beginning. The reunion of souls marks the start of a new chapter in their shared story, a chapter that continues to unfold with each passing moment. This ongoing journey is one of continuous growth, learning, and transformation. The couple, now reunited, faces new challenges and experiences that further deepen their connection and understanding of love. In this continued journey, the practices of mindfulness, compassion, and forgiveness remain essential. They help the couple to stay connected to the present moment, to respond to each other's needs with kindness and empathy, and to navigate the inevitable difficulties that arise in any relationship. The silent return becomes a foundation for a love that is not only enduring but also ever-evolving, a love that continues to grow and transform as the souls journey together through life. Conclusion: the silent return as a spiritual homecoming. The silent return of destined love is a profound spiritual homecoming. It is a recognition of the eternal bond between souls, a celebration of the growth and transformation that separation has facilitated, and a new beginning built on a foundation of deeper understanding and connection. It reminds us that love, in its truest form, transcends the limitations of time and form and exists in a realm of eternal presence. By embracing the silent return with mindfulness, compassion, and an open heart, we honor the profound journey of love that has brought us to this moment. We recognize that this return is not the end, but a new chapter in our shared story, a chapter that continues to unfold with each moment of presence, each act of love, and each step forward on the path of spiritual growth. In this recognition, we find not only the joy of reunion, but also the peace that comes from knowing that love, in its deepest essence, is eternal and unbreakable. The teachings of true love, a spiritual mirror. True love, as portrayed in Zen and Buddhist teachings, is not merely a social or emotional bond, but a profound spiritual mirror that reflects our deepest truths and potentials. It is through love that we encounter the most profound aspects of ourselves and others, aspects that might otherwise remain hidden. Love becomes a vehicle for self-discovery and spiritual growth, revealing to us the nature of our minds, hearts, and souls. In this sense, true love is not just something we experience, but something that teaches us, guiding us toward greater awareness, compassion, and wisdom. Love as a mirror of the self. When we enter into a relationship of true love, we are given a unique opportunity to see ourselves reflected in another. This mirror shows us not only our strengths and virtues, but also our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities. It reveals the parts of ourselves that we might try to hide from the world and even from ourselves. In this reflection, we can see the patterns of thought and behavior that limit our growth and happiness. For example, a person who struggles with trust issues may find that these issues surface more prominently in a loving relationship. The fear of being hurt or abandoned can lead to behaviors that push their partner away. However, through the lens of love, they can begin to recognize these patterns and work to heal them. The relationship becomes a space for confronting and transforming these internal obstacles. Similarly, a person who tends to be self-centered may discover through love the capacity for selflessness. The natural desire to care for and support their partner can awaken qualities of generosity and compassion that were previously dormant. In this way, love becomes a mirror that not only reflects our shortcomings, but also reveals our untapped potential for growth. The lessons of impermanence. One of the most profound teachings of love is the lesson of impermanence. All relationships, like all phenomena, are subject to change. Moments of joy and connection are inevitably followed by moments of distance and difficulty. This impermanence can be a source of pain, but it is also a powerful teacher. Impermanence teaches us to cherish each moment of love without taking it for granted. It reminds us that love is not a possession to be clung to, but a precious experience to be fully lived in the present. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we become more mindful of our actions and words, more intentional in expressing our love and gratitude. Moreover, impermanence helps us develop resilience. Knowing that difficult times will pass, we can face challenges with greater equanimity. We learn to navigate the natural cycles of love, its ups and downs, its comings and goings, without becoming attached to any particular state. This understanding brings a sense of peace and freedom, allowing us to love more fully and openly. The practice of compassion. Compassion lies at the heart of Buddhist teachings and is an essential component of true love. Compassion is the ability to feel with another, to empathize with their suffering, and desire to alleviate it. In a loving relationship, compassion manifests as a deep sensitivity to the needs and feelings of our partner, a willingness to support them through their struggles, and a commitment to promoting their well-being. Cultivating compassion requires us to develop empathy, to put ourselves in our partner's shoes and see the world from their perspective. It asks us to respond to their pain with kindness rather than judgment, to offer comfort rather than solutions. When we practice compassion in our relationships, we create a space where both partners feel safe to be vulnerable and authentic. Compassion also extends beyond our immediate relationships to encompass all beings. In Zen and Buddhist thought, love is not a closed circle, but a radiating force that touches everyone we encounter. By cultivating compassion in our intimate relationships, we develop the capacity to extend this compassion to others, creating a ripple effect of kindness and understanding in the world. The path of self-transformation. True love is a path of self-transformation. It challenges us to become the best versions of ourselves, to grow in ways we might not have thought possible. This transformation is not forced upon us, but arises naturally from the experience of love itself. As we encounter the mirror of love, we become aware of our limitations and are given the opportunity to transcend them. For instance, love often requires us to develop patience. We may find ourselves faced with situations where our partner's behavior frustrates or disappoints us. Through love, we learn to respond to these situations with patience and understanding, recognizing that our partner, like ourselves, is a work in progress. This patience extends to ourselves as well, allowing us to be gentle with our own shortcomings and mistakes. Love also teaches us the art of forgiveness. No relationship is without its moments of hurt and betrayal. However, holding on to resentment and anger only serves to poison the relationship and our own hearts. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about releasing the hold it has on us. It is a gift we give ourselves and our partner, freeing both of us to move forward with greater peace and openness. The role of mindfulness in loving relationships. Mindfulness is the foundation upon which the teachings of true love are built. It is the practice of being fully present in each moment, of observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. When we bring mindfulness to our relationships, we create space for love to flourish. Mindful presence allows us to truly see and hear our partner, to respond to them with authenticity, rather than reacting from a place of habit or conditioning. It helps us to recognize the arising of difficult emotions and to address them skillfully, rather than letting them escalate into conflict. Mindfulness also helps us to appreciate the beauty and depth of our relationship. By being present to each moment, we can savor the joy and connection that love brings. We become more attuned to the small gestures and acts of kindness that often go unnoticed, but are the building blocks of a loving relationship. The integration of love and spirituality. In Zen and Buddhist teachings, love and spirituality are not separate domains, but are deeply interconnected. True love is seen as an expression of our spiritual nature, a manifestation of the fundamental interconnectedness of all life. When we love, we are not merely connecting with another person, but are tapping into the universal truth of our interconnectedness. This understanding transforms our approach to both love and spirituality. It reminds us that our relationships are not isolated events, but are part of a larger tapestry of existence. The love we cultivate in our intimate relationships radiates outward, affecting our interactions with everyone we meet. It becomes a practice of love in the broadest sense, a way of being in the world that is characterized by compassion, awareness, and connection. Conclusion: embracing the teachings of true love. The teachings of true love, as revealed in Zen and Buddhist traditions, offer us a profound and transformative understanding of what love can be. They remind us that love is not merely a feeling, but a spiritual practice that mirrors our deepest truths and potentials. Through love, we learn about ourselves, about impermanence, about compassion, and about the interconnectedness of all life. By embracing these teachings and integrating them into our relationships, we transform our love from a fleeting emotion into a powerful force for spiritual growth and transformation. We create relationships that are not only sources of joy and fulfillment, but also pathways to enlightenment. The final goal, liberation through union. In the spiritual journey of love, the ultimate objective transcends the mere union of two individuals. It is not about merging into a singular entity or achieving a perfect, unchanging relationship. Instead, the final goal is liberation through union, a profound transformation that allows each individual to grow, to evolve, and to awaken to their highest potential. This liberation is not found in the eradication of the self, but in the evolution of the self through the mirror of another. It is a union that fosters freedom, understanding, and the realization of our deepest truths. The paradox of union and liberation. At first glance, union and liberation may seem contradictory. Union suggests coming together, merging, and forming a bond, while liberation implies freedom, independence, and release from bondage. However, in the context of spiritual love, these concepts are not opposing forces, but complementary aspects of a profound relationship. True union in love does not suffocate the individual spirit, but instead provides the fertile ground for liberation to flourish. When two individuals come together in a relationship, they bring with them their unique experiences, perspectives, and paths of growth. The union becomes a dynamic space where these differences are not merely tolerated, but celebrated. Through this celebration of diversity, each partner is inspired to explore new dimensions of themselves. The relationship thus serves as a catalyst for self-discovery and spiritual awakening, allowing each person to break free from the confines of their limited self-concept and to expand into a more liberated state of being. The role of mindfulness and presence. Mindfulness and presence are the cornerstones of achieving liberation through union. When partners are mindfully present with one another, they create a space of authenticity and openness. This presence allows them to truly see and hear each other, to respond to each moment with awareness rather than from a place of habit or conditioning. In this mindful space, partners can confront their fears, insecurities, and patterns of behavior that arise in the relationship. They can observe these mental and emotional phenomena without judgment, understanding them as transient aspects of their experience rather than fixed traits of their identity. This non-judgmental awareness is liberating. It frees individuals from the bondage of their past and from the stories they tell themselves about who they are. Moreover, mindfulness in union cultivates a deep appreciation for the present moment. Partners learn to cherish each interaction, each shared experience, and each expression of love. They recognize that these moments are not ordinary, but sacred opportunities for connection and growth. By staying present, they avoid the suffering that comes from clinging to the past or anxiously anticipating the future. Compassion as the bridge to liberation. Compassion is the bridge that connects union to liberation. It is through compassion that we extend understanding and empathy to our partner, recognizing their suffering and their humanity. When we respond to our partner's pain with compassion, we create a safe space where vulnerability can flourish. This vulnerability is the foundation of authentic connection and the pathway to liberation. Compassion also turns inward. To truly liberate ourselves through union, we must practice self-compassion. This means acknowledging our own suffering, our mistakes, and our limitations with kindness, rather than self-criticism. Self-compassion frees us from the harsh internal judge that keeps us trapped in cycles of self-doubt and shame. It allows us to approach our growth with patience and grace, understanding that liberation is a journey, not a destination. The practice of non-attachment. Non-attachment is a crucial practice in the journey toward liberation through union. Non-attachment does not mean indifference or emotional distance. It is the ability to love deeply and fully while releasing the need to control or possess the other person. It is recognizing that our partner is on their own spiritual journey and that their path may take them through changes and transformations that we cannot predict or control. In non-attachment, we find freedom from the suffering that comes from clinging to expectations and outcomes. We learn to love without conditions, to offer our presence and support without demanding anything in return. This kind of love is liberating because it is not dependent on the actions or responses of the other person. It is a love that comes from a place of inner fullness rather than lack. The transformation of suffering. Suffering is an inevitable part of any intimate relationship. Differences in perspective, unmet expectations, and external stressors can all lead to moments of pain and conflict. However, in the context of liberation through union, suffering is not seen as a barrier, but as they ask themselves, what can this pain teach us about ourselves and each other? They listen to the underlying needs and fears that the suffering reveals and respond to them with kindness. In this way, suffering becomes a sacred part of the relationship, a signpost pointing toward areas where both individuals can expand and heal. The path of mutual enlightenment. The ultimate expression of liberation through union is mutual enlightenment. This is when both partners actively support each other's spiritual growth and awakening. They recognize that their relationship is not just a personal connection, but a shared journey toward enlightenment. In this path, partners become each other's teachers, guides, and reflectors. They offer loving feedback, support each other's practices, and celebrate each other's breakthroughs. They understand that when one partner grows, it benefits the relationship as a whole, creating a positive cycle of mutual upliftment. Mutual enlightenment also involves a commitment to the greater good. Partners extend their love and compassion beyond their immediate relationship to encompass all beings. They recognize that their love has the power to ripple out into the world, touching others and contributing to the collective awakening. Conclusion. Embracing liberation. Through union, liberation through union is the culmination of the spiritual journey of love. It is a dynamic, evolving state where two individuals come together not to lose themselves, but to find themselves more fully. It is a relationship that honors the uniqueness of each person while celebrating their profound connection. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment, and by approaching both joy and suffering as opportunities for growth, partners in such a union transform their relationship into a sacred space of liberation. They discover that love is not a destination, but a continuous journey of awakening, a journey that enriches their lives and radiates outward to touch the world. In this liberation, there is no end to growth, no final achievement to be attained. It is a lifelong dance of becoming, a dance where each step is taken in harmony with the other, and each movement leads to new depths of understanding and love. It is in this dance that we find not only the liberation of the self, but also the profound joy of shared spiritual awakening. Final thoughts. The eternal journey of love and destiny. As we reach the culmination of our exploration into the teachings of Zen and Buddhist wisdom on love and destiny, we are left with a profound understanding that transcends the boundaries of conventional thought. True love, as revealed through these ancient yet timeless teachings, is not merely a fleeting emotion or a romantic ideal. It is a spiritual journey that intertwines with the very fabric of our existence, guiding us toward growth, liberation, and ultimately, enlightenment. We have journeyed together through the concept of love as a spiritual recognition where two souls destined to meet resonate with an ancient familiarity. We have explored how love, when aligned with the universal laws of karma and destiny, becomes a powerful catalyst for transformation. Through the challenges of separation and the joy of reunion, we have witnessed how love evolves, deepens, and ultimately liberates us from the confines of the self. The teachings remind us that love is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding of the present moment. It is in this unfolding that we discover the profound truth of our interconnectedness. Each relationship we form, each connection we nurture, and each moment of love we experience contribute to our spiritual evolution. Love, in its purest form, is a reflection of the universal truth that lies at the heart of all existence. As we conclude this exploration, we carry with us the wisdom that love, when embraced with mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment, becomes a pathway to liberation. It is through love that we learn to let go of our fears and insecurities, to release our attachment to outcomes, and to trust in the natural flow of destiny. In doing so, we discover not only the depth of our capacity to love, but also the boundless potential for growth and awakening within us. May these teachings continue to resonate within you as you navigate the beautiful and complex journey of love in your own life. May they serve as a reminder that you are not alone in this journey, that the connections you form are part of a larger tapestry of destiny, and that within each moment of love lies the potential for profound transformation and enlightenment. With heartfelt wishes for your continued growth and awakening on the path of love and destiny. Just as a candle cannot light another candle without first lighting itself, so too must we first be enlightened by wisdom before we can share it with others. If these teachings have brought you a moment of clarity or peace, consider sharing them with those you love. By doing so, you light another's path without dimming your own. And if you have found value in these words, may I gently encourage you to subscribe to our channel. Like a monk tending to a sacred text, we strive to bring you teachings that nourish the spirit and illuminate the mind. By subscribing, you ensure that these teachings continue to reach those seeking wisdom, just as the Buddha shared his insights under the Bodhi tree. May your journey be filled with light, and may you find the wisdom and compassion to walk your path with grace. Thank you for being here, and may your path be blessed with love and wisdom.